In this video, we'll look at just a few of the WilloWare GP Power Pack tweaks. The GP Power Pack actually comes with numerous features, which we classify as completely new sets of functionality, and tweaks, which we define as small changes to different parts of the system. Both are designed to improve user efficiency, but we're just going to focus on tweaks for this video. Over 40 tweaks come with the purchase of the GP Power Pack, or the entire package of tweaks can be purchased separately. Let's look at the setup of tweaks. I'm going to take us into GP and then navigate to Microsoft Dynamics GP, Tools, Setup, Company, Setup GP Power Pack. When my setup window opens, I'm going to scroll down past our features, so we're just looking at our tweaks. Notice that tweaks are available for many of GP's modules, including GL, Inventory, Payables Management, Purchase Order Processing, Receivables Management, Sales Order Processing, quite a few for System, and even one for Payroll. Setting up tweaks is actually quite easy. The majority of tweaks just require this checkbox here to be marked in order for the tweak to be enabled. A few tweaks require additional setup, and that's signified here by the asterisk at the end of their name. Any tweak with this asterisk just needs to be double-clicked and its specific setup window will open. But we'll get back to that in a little bit. The first tweak we're going to look at is an inventory tweak called Allow Inventory Discontinue. We can tell it's enabled because it's checked here. This tweak adds the ability to set the item type of any item to discontinued. GP normally allows only sales inventory type items to be set this way. With this tweak enabled, services, flat fee, miscellaneous, and kit items can all be set to discontinued as well. Let me show you what I mean. Let's navigate to Cards, Inventory, Item, and I'll pull a services item type up. We can see here that I can actually now take this item type of services and move it to discontinued very easily, simply because that tweak is enabled. The next tweak we're going to look at is a Payables Management tweak. It's called Relabel Process Button as Run. This tweak works directly with the Post Checks window. The Payables Post Checks window has a drop-down list field called Process and two buttons labeled Process and Process Later. This can sometimes be confusing for users. Enabling this tweak will actually relabel the two buttons as Run and Run Later. Let's take a look. Transactions, Purchasing, Post Checks. We can see that our drop-down is still labeled as Process, but our Process button now says Run, and our Process Later button says Run Later. The next tweak we're going to look at, again, is a Payables Management tweak. It's called Vendor Approval. Vendor Approval adds a control to the system which prevents placing a purchase order with a new vendor or a vendor on hold until that hold is removed. This is a change to the normal GP behavior which prompts the user that a vendor is on hold but still allows the user to go ahead and create the purchase order. When vendor approval is enabled, purchase orders cannot be created for the vendor and newly created vendors will automatically be put on hold. Since this tweak has an asterisk at the end of its name, we know a little bit more setup needs to be completed. We're going to double click on this and the specific setup window for this tweak opens. It's called Vendor Approval Security. This window is looking for a listing of user IDs that are authorized to remove a vendor from its hold, therefore approving it. No one's listed quite yet, so let's go ahead and take a look at one of our vendors that have just been entered. I'm going to come to Cards, Purchasing, Vendor, and choose my vendor test. As you can see, because this vendor test has just been entered, it's automatically been placed on hold. If I try to remove this hold, thereby approving the vendor, I'll be stopped as only authorized users can do so. I would also be prevented from entering a new PO for this vendor ID. Let's go back to that setup window and enter our user ID and select Done. Now when we come back to vendor maintenance, we're able to remove the hold, thereby approving the vendor. And we'd also be able to go ahead and enter a PO now. The next tweak we're going to look at is a purchase order processing tweak called Prevent Use of Non-Inventory Items. GP's purchasing module will allow users to enter non-inventory items on the fly. In some cases, this can accidentally result in manually entering an item number that's close to an item number that exists in the inventory master. This feature will check that any item number entered already exists in your inventory master. Let's go ahead and look at one of our purchase orders. Transactions, purchasing, purchase order entry, and now I'm going to pull up a PO. If I try to enter an item number that's not in the inventory master, I'll be prompted that this item number does not exist and that non-inventory items cannot be used. The next set of tweaks we're going to look at all have to do with sales order processing. So we've got customer PO required, display ship weight and title bar, and requested ship date roll down. We'll start with customer PO required. It's pretty self-explanatory. You're going to need to enter a customer PO in the sales document entry window. Customer PO actually supports making the customer PO number field required for all customers or only for specific customers. If I double click on this, because it's got the asterisk at the end, we'll see its setup window. We have the choice to apply this tweak to all customers or enter a listing of customer numbers we'd like this tweak applied to. I'm going to leave it applied to all customers for now. The second tweak is display ship weight in the title bar. This tweak calculates the shipping weight for the document and then displays it in the title bar of the sales transaction entry window. The third tweak we're going to look at is the requested ship date roll down. This tweak will roll down to all sales lines a change to the requested ship date made in the sales date entry window. Additionally, it will also attempt to apply the date change to any linked purchase orders or manufacturing orders. It also requires a little bit of extra setup. We can see in the header for our ship date roll down, we have the choice to show prompts and also show a report. If we select to show prompts, the user can, after they've entered the date, decide whether or not they want to roll it down to all lines on the sales order or not. The show report will actually print a report if the user selects yes. This report will let us know if we've been successful in updating all of our sales lines, as well as any of the purchase orders or manufacturing orders that may be linked to the sales document. Let's head to sales transaction entry now. Transactions, sales, sales transaction entry. I'm going to pull up an invoice. We can see here that in my header, the customer PO number is now required. If I try to save the document, it won't let me until I enter a customer PO number. Display shipping weight in the title bar is up here. Right now, we have one item that's entered and it has a weight of 150 pounds. If I enter a second item, we can see that the ship weight will increase if the item card has a shipping weight entered. The third tweak that we were going to look at is the ship date roll down. If I come here to my expansion button for dates and I change my requested ship date from April 12th to April 26th and then select OK, I'll get a prompt to see if I want to roll down that requested ship date to all lines. I'm going to select yes. The system will then print that report we talked about. It shows me that there are no lines that have been linked to manufacturing orders or purchase orders, but that all my requested ship date on all the sales order lines was successful. If I had linked manufacturing orders or purchase orders, this report would let me know if there was success in updating those dates as well. The last tweak we're going to look at is a system tweak, and it's called Smart List Favorite Lock. This tweak adds the ability to lock and password protect any Smart List favorite. Locking a favorite will prevent accidental changes. Let's take a look at our Smart Lists. I'm going to look at an inventory Smart List that I've already created called Items Without Standard Cost. If I click on Favorites and then click on Add, I can see that I can lock or unlock this Smart List. I'm going to lock it and apply a password. And now I'm going to try to update this Smart List. Let's remove the ABC column. And now try to modify that favorite. When we come in, we can see that the Modify button is no longer available to us. I would need to come to Add, Lock, Unlock, and choose to unlock the Smart List. I would have to apply the password in order to do so. If I don't know the password, I can't update the favorite. This concludes our overview of those GP PowerPack tweaks. If you have more questions or would like to see more information about the tweaks, you can go to www.willowware.com, go to Products, and choose GP PowerPack. Thanks.